1.2, evaluate and simplify algebraic expressions.
Oh my gosh, they cubed x. This is so not my style.
So in a power like 5 cubed, 5 to the third power, we call the 5 the base. And the 3 is the exponent. And that just tells us that we do the 5 times 5 times 5. So as I said, to the third power, that's cubed. Let's look at this comic.
Say, Cube, do you consider yourself to be religious? I believe there are higher powers than us, if that's what you mean.
Okay, because this is to the second power, which is squared, and this is to the third power, which is cubed, and the third power is a higher power than squaring it. Okay, and so let's look at some examples, and I really want to emphasize how parentheses matter here. So what does -4 squared mean?
It means to multiply -4 times itself.
And just since it's squared, we do -4 times -4. But the importance is that it's the whole -4 that we are squaring. Remember how I said in the last PowerPoint that when we have parentheses, that's quantity? So the quantity, -4, is what we are squaring. So a negative times a negative is a positive. 4 times 4 is 16. Now in this example, this is saying -4 squared. The only thing that is touching the squared is the 4. So we do the opposite of 4 squared. So the opposite of 4 times 4. Only the 4 is being squared in this one, not the whole quantity. So we get
-16.
So you see the difference? Here we got 16. Here we got -16. What's going to happen when we cube it?
Now we're going to multiply -4 times itself 3 times.
Exactly. So we have -4 times -4 times -4. Negative times a negative times a negative is a negative. And 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. All right, so now in this one, what do you think we're going to do?
We're going to take the negative of 4 cubed. In other words, negative and then 4 multiplied by itself 3 times.
So in this one, we also get -64. You'll see when we squared it, was positive, but the reason being because a negative times a negative is a positive. Order of operations.
PEMDAS is a way that you can shorten it, an abbreviation for order of operations, but it stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division, addition, or subtraction.
And I want to emphasize that multiplication or division. You do the multiplication and the division from left to right. So this does not mean that multiplication comes before division, and that's why I separated them with spaces. Parentheses comes first, then exponents, then multiplication or division, whichever one pops up first as you're going from left to right. Same with addition and subtraction from left to right, and we'll do some examples.
So now we're going to solve this for x equals -4. So first we'll substitute the -4 in for x and then follow our order of operations.
And make sure, since it's -4, it's that quantity. Make sure you're always putting it in parentheses. 2 times -4 squared plus 3 times -4 minus 5. Okay, what came first? We don't really have parentheses in this one, right? The parentheses are just surrounding my -4, so I remember it's a quantity. So I'm going to do the exponents. So -4 times -4 is?
16.
All right, so we got exponents out of the way. And then we'll just do the multiplication from left to right. So 2 times 16 is?
32. Minus 12 minus 5.
And we get, let's see, 20 minus 5 is 15. Okay, next one. It's summertime. You set up a lemonade stand selling drinks at $2.95 per glass, and I like to underline important information. You spend $60 on ingredients and supplies. Find your profit if you sell 70 glasses of lemonade. So find your profit. What do we do? We are selling 70 glasses for $2.95 per glass. $2.95, and we sell 70 of those. But we spent the $60, so our profit, we got to take away what we spent, right? And so we get
$146.50 is our profit.
Okay. Here, write a general expression that shows your profit from selling X glasses of lemonade. So all we really did was, it was $2.95 times however many glasses of lemonade, and then take away how much we spent on the ingredients and supplies. So profit is just our revenue minus our expenses. How much we take in minus how much we spent. Okay, so let's talk about terms and coefficients. Remember, I just told you about terms in the last video that we did. They are separated by those plus signs. So we have terms right here. We have the 5x squared, we have the 3x, and we have the 10. The 10 is called our
constant term.
Okay, because it doesn't have a variable part. These two have variable parts. So they are just variable terms. Let me just write that. All right. And then what else do we need?
We have the coefficients of each variable term.
So the coefficient of the x squared term is 5, and the coefficient of the x term is 3. So those are both called coefficients. It's what is in front of our variable term. All right. And what about like terms? What are like terms?
They have the same variable parts.
So do we have any like terms in this example?
We have no like terms in this example.
What would an example of like terms be?
If you had maybe a 5x squared and a 3x squared instead of just 3x, then you would have had like terms.
Okay, or like a 7x and a 3x. Those would be like terms.
Or
okay.
a 7 and a 3.
Or a 7 and a 3. Those would be constants. And all right. Let's simplify. So again, we can always combine like terms. So let's start with our x's. 5x's minus 15x's, and we get
minus 10x's.
And then we have negative 8 of the y's plus 20 of the y's, and we get
12 of the y's.
Plus 12y. All right. What do we have to do in this one before we even start?
We have to use the distributive property.
Okay, so let's start by distributing. We get
8x minus 40.
Ooh, and this part we have to distribute the whole negative 7.
Yes.
Don't forget about that, all right?
So negative 7x.
Negative 7x.
Minus 49.
Minus the 49. Okay, now do we have like terms?
Yes, we do. So 8x minus 7x is 1x, and minus 40 and minus 49 is minus 89.
All right. Next example. Your first lemonade stand project went so well, you decide to do it again. This time, you decide to add a slushy lemonade to the menu. You sell a total of 60 drinks. All right, let's underline 60 drinks. That's how many we sell total. The regular lemonade sells for $3 per glass, and the slushy lemonade sells for $5 per glass. Write an expression for total income if X represents the total glasses of regular lemonade sold. So we're saying that X is how much regular lemonade we sell. The number of glasses of regular lemonade sold is X. So how many glasses of slushy lemonade did we sell? How do we figure that out?
Well, we know we sold 60 drinks altogether, so if we take the 60 and subtract how many regular lemonade, which is X, that should be how many slushy lemonades we have.
And if you couldn't really figure that out, think about numbers. Put numbers in. Well, if you sold 20 glasses of regular lemonade, you would automatically know that you sold 40 glasses of slushy lemonade. So think to yourself, how did I get that? Well, I did 60 minus 20 and I got 40, right? Okay. So now what?
Okay, now we are going to answer the question, the total income. So income is a function of X, the number of regular lemonade sold.
Okay, so I'm going to write that as I of X. The income depends on however many glasses of regular lemonade I sold. So X's are going to be my variable.
Okay, so I of X will equal 3 times X.
Because the regular lemonade was sold at $3, okay?
And the price for the other is 5, so 5 times 60 minus X.
Okay. And that's going to be how much income. That's how much I bring in. So I want to simplify this. I just have 3X there. And then I've got to distribute the 5, and I get
300 minus 5X.
And 3X minus 5X is?
Negative 2X plus 300.
Okay, and so that is my income. Don't get nervous about that negative, like your income's going to be negative there, because don't forget you're adding that 300, which is a big number. And let's try that in our next example. Prove it to ourselves. Find the total income if 24 glasses of regular lemonade were sold. So now I'm going to write I of X.
Now I'm going to write I of 24 because X is equal to 24.
Because X is equal to 24. Okay, so that means wherever I saw an X here, I'm going to put in a 24. Instead of I of X, I have I of 24. Meaning all my X's now turn into 24s, and I get?
Negative 2 times 24 plus 300. And my answer is $252.
Okay. Just a little calculator tip. First of all, make sure that you're putting your parentheses as is appropriate. So if you wanted to do -4 squared, make sure in your calculator you do parenthesis, -4 parenthesis, and then square it. Otherwise, your calculator actually does order of operations, and it would just, if you didn't do the parentheses, it would think that you were writing -4 squared. All right, and also the difference between the negative key and the subtraction key, this is the negative key, so if you're doing -4 or something, that's the key you want to use. But this is the minus key, so if you want to put 3 minus 8, you would do 3 minus 8. All right, and that's it for this lesson.
Bye.